Hey, what's up guys? So we're going to be doing another OCG deck that got first place, and this one is Rock Stun, and it's a really cool deck. The mechanics of it are basically a stun, so it makes it so your opponent really can't do anything, and basically you'll have answers for everything. That's the whole goal of the deck. So I'm going to show off Block Golem because I feel like that card is required in the deck. It's not out in TCG yet, but however, you can maybe get the cards ready, and so once that card comes out, all you need to do is get those Block Golems, and you'll be ready to go. So I'm going to show off Block Golem because I think this card definitely makes the deck. So what it does is, you don't really use it for the attack or anything, but what it does is, if the only monsters in your graveyard are Earth monsters, you contribute this face-up card to target 2 level 4 or lower Rock-type monsters in your graveyard except for Block Golem, and special summon those targets. This turn, those monsters cannot activate their effects on the field. It says on the field, so I'm pretty sure Quacky Mirrors, since they resolve off the field, you will actually be able to use their effects. But if anyone does know, let me know in the comment section below, because I think that that'll make it way more viable, and I think that that does make it quite good, being able to negate any, traps or monsters' effects during that turn that you get it out, because Quacky Mirrors could resolve off the field. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, this card definitely does make the deck. Back to the deck profile. So. He ran 16 monsters, which were Neospatian Grand Mole, 2 Block Golem. I don't understand why you wouldn't play 3. I feel like that card's just so good. Then 3 Wall, 3 Guardian, 3 Sandman. So you have the negation of spells, monsters, effects, and traps. So pretty good stuff right there. And then essentially you have answers for everything. Like that's the whole goal of them. And obviously you run nothing but rock type, because you have to be able to reveal. Keep that in mind. And then he played 3 Go Giant. So pretty interesting. Not only can you get those cards back with Block Golem, but Go Giant allows you to go into quick Exceed plays. So it's pretty interesting. And it is a 2000 beater, so maybe if Thunder King's a problem, you can just run over it with a 2000 beater. Pretty good. And then one guy played the Earth Giant, so that's kind of like the dark arm, I guess you could call it, of the whole Rock Stun. It's kind of like their bigger card. And then for the 10 spells, he played 3 Pot of Duality, 1 Reborn, 1 Dark Hole, 1 Forbidden Lance, 1 Forbidden Chalice, 3 Mystical Space Typhoons. And for the traps, oh, one thing I need to mention with the Magic, he decided not to play Heavy Storm in the main deck. Like our other player did not decide to main Darkhold that was playing E-Heroes. Pretty interesting stuff. As you guys can see, they have different ideas. Whereas here, we pretty much make Darkhold and Heavy Storm a staple in like every deck. And I think the reason why he didn't play the Heavy Storm is because he is very trap heavy. But I still feel like it's just too good. Anyways, onto the traps. So he's got 2 Compulses, 2 Torrentials, 2 Starlight, 3 Skill Drains. So it is a super stun deck. And Quacky Mirrors, if you guys know, I'm pretty sure again they can activate off the field, so Skill Drain does not really affect them. And I believe you still have to reveal because it's like a maintenance cost, and it's something that Skill Drain doesn't stop, so you still do have to reveal. And he played 3 Call of the Haunted. So I think the idea behind the whole only running 2 of the Block Golem was you can special summon Block Golem, which is really interesting. It just makes it so you can't use Block Golem's effect to get Block Golem himself. That's the only essentially restriction. But you can get back this card, and I think his idea was get back Block Golem with Call of the Haunted, and just go for 2 more, and he can go for an Exceed if he needed to. And I think that that's really where he exceeded, and that's where his deck definitely had some potential. I think that that was basically the main play, because in a whole stun deck, usually you only have 1 summon per turn, and that's kind of how Quacky Mirrors work at least. And you can Call the Haunted to get back Grand Mole, to bounce back other things. It just seems like it's a pretty good option to run 3 Call the Haunteds, just because Block Golem gets out double monsters. Pretty good. So it's like a 1 card Exceed or 1 card really great protection. Because sometimes when Quacky Mirror Guardians on the field, people will have to Dark Hold because they don't want their monsters' effects to get needed. So once you Dark Hold their Guardian, they can just go Call the Haunted, get back Guardian, and at that point you've used a power card, and they're using 1 Call of the Haunted, which they can run 3 of. Then he's running 2 Solemn Warning and a Solemn Judgment, and this one actually shows his side deck, which is kind of cool. Interesting to see his side deck run 3 Night Shots. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory, and interesting to see Summon Limit, because Heretic Dragons, those are a viable deck apparently, and so Summon Limit will hurt them so much. That completely shuts them down. Although I'll argue Valor is pretty decent against them as well. But yeah, because once you go for Atom, the XYZ, you can just Valor that, and that kind of hurts him quite a bit. But yeah, interesting stuff to not see Heavy Storm in the main deck. And then 3 Night Shot, which is pretty interesting to see as well, because yeah, Night Shot doesn't seem like... I mean, why not just run Decree if you're really afraid of the back row? I don't know. Obviously, he runs so many traps that he might not have room, and at that point, why not just play Dust Tornado, because then you can set your traps. I don't know. They play differently, and his extra deck is really funny. So he's got a Geysers and a Heraclinos, and then everything else pretty standard, I would say. There's nothing too strange. In Quackimiros, you're not going to really go for any Exceeds. I mean, you're pretty much going to... You might want to go for... other things like I believe Inverse Roach is the Steel Swarm Roach, and so you know that is a pretty great card to make against certain decks like Dragons. But a pretty interesting deck. Let me know what you guys think of his deck. I personally think it was really cool that he's running Block Golem. Block Golem is definitely what makes the deck, I would say. And I don't know why he sided the other one. I personally maybe would have just main decked it, and then I don't know. He could still play 3 Call of the Haunted as long as he can get him to the graveyard. Like I don't think you'd run Foolish in it, but like getting those like Quackimiros to the graveyard early on probably would help. I'm trying to think if there's any other way that he could possibly make this more viable, because I'm trying to think if there is like an Earth E-Hero, maybe like Wild Heart, he could actually use that so he can run like Future Fusion, so he can just send 2 rock monsters to the graveyard if there is a rock E-Hero. I don't know if there is Rock E-Hero, let me know in the comment section below, because off the top of my head, most of them are all warriors, except for I think there's 1 Pyro. But if there's any like level 4 or lower E-Hero that is rock, let me know, and I'll actually try to run this deck, because I think because even though everything has to be in the graveyard that has to be a rock type, if you get like an E-Hero that's like not a rock in the graveyard, like let's say you go for Gaia, you can just Miracle Fusion, get rid of it, and then you can use Block Golem, and then like I feel like you can push really hard with that. So that's my idea with it. But let me know what you guys think of this deck. I think this is a pretty cool deck, because I haven't seen any stun deck really get first place in quite some time, especially in the TCG. I mean, you could argue that Dino Rabbit is kind of a stun deck, but I really feel like it's not. It's just like a first turn control the field deck, and then try to win. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Asian Eyes White Dragon, signing out.